You're watching your local television network, TSPN, and now back to authors, writers, books, and beyond.
Hi, welcome back to the final segment. We were chatting of authors, writers, as always.
We're always chatting.
You almost got in on that one.
Yeah.
Authors, writers, books, and beyond. I am glad to have you here, and you are very blessed in a way I don't think you realize. These women are not just gifted, but special in a way that they give back. Not everybody gives back, but these ladies have amazing talent that over the years, I think you've just heard it's blooming and growing in different directions. I would really like you to go back and just take up with your mom there.
Okay, I would, thank you. You know, I grew up in a writer's home. My mother, I didn't know what she did, but she was an advice column, and it was very much like Anne and Abby. She always called herself the national advice column in a field of two. She was number 3. But she always took such pride in taking all the letters and everything in to her home. She was syndicated through Kingfisher Syndicate in New York, but lived in South Sacramento. And so she never saw herself as anybody special. She just came up with an idea and thought, I could do this, you know, I could answer people's problems. So an advice column really is the pulse of the nation before the news knows about it. My mother wrote about anorexia, for instance, before anorexia had become national news of an epidemic for teenagers, mostly girls, but she also had boys. And so there were things that we learned growing up as kids that we thought all parents had 200, 300 letters coming into their house every day, and that the postman would have to come up and dump, you know, cases of letters, and we would all sit around and read them. And I always thought, how awesome would it be to be able to write about her life and her story, but she's no longer here to ask some of the details. She was born to a mother who was brilliant and a writer, but through no fault of her own, had a dementia kind of thing going on, lost her mind, lived at the railroad tracks, was homeless. The father took off when my mother was 2. So Mom grew up really with her own story. And I used to always talk about she was embarrassed by her story. I said, well, it's kind of like you had a story, you were a character in somebody else's novel. And so she decided to reinvent herself through her writing. And she became the woman she felt she was supposed to be, not the one she was born into. That was just part of her novel, of her story. So we're all like walking novels, right?
With different chapters.
Right. And I want to be able to take that with the knowledge and the experiences that we had of inviting people to live in our home. And she would find people that were living in fields and invite them over to help them because she had such a heart. So she wasn't like Abigail Van Buren, and you know, they did what they did, but my mother did something really at a soul level, and people don't know that story, and I feel like I have it. I need to tell it. So that's when you asked if there was some sort of fiction I would tell. It's really kind of a historical fiction. It's based on truth, but I would have to make it up. So that's a challenge for me.
Yeah, and we do that, by the way, out there. That's how you get it.
Yeah.
Like I said, that kernel of truth. But what a wonderful background.
Well, and you know, we are all living in a story. Every single person is living in a story, and we sometimes see our problems as, you know, somehow disabling.
Yeah, but
they're not. They're catapults into the world, and to be able to tell your story is to help other people know they're not alone.
Well, for you, I met your daughter at the and when she was pregnant. Now you have a
grandbaby,
which is
the cutest baby in the world. Yeah.
And this is what you're handing down.
Yes, it's about legacy, and it's about. I've been amazed at how many. I just had a canning class with some other authors, but just, you know, it's about passing things down.
Who did you do that with?
Lynn Vincent and Sue Meissner, and Anita Palmer, and we canned roasted tomato salsa, 70 pounds of tomatoes.
Is that my birthday gift?
Yeah.
Good.
But you know, I think just connecting with your audience and making that connection, and the fact that everybody's story matters. And when I go talk to kids, that's what I tell them. Everybody has a story to share. and everybody's story matters. And I just think that is, sometimes we don't feel that we do have value worth sharing, or that we don't have something that's worth a book, but everyone has a story to pass down, even the hard parts. And I talked to them about
best
that.
Parts.
Well, and I talked to them about a pearl. A pearl starts off with an irritant.
Right.
And then it becomes something beautiful and valuable. And just that's what Miss Nancy did, is she had something that wasn't pleasant, and it turned out to be something beautiful that we've shared. Mm-hmm. And so don't disregard the sand. Think of it as a potential pearl. Yeah. So.
And Jeanette, I think you especially persevere in a way TV Land doesn't know about.
Yeah. I am. Do you mean the vision thing?
Yes.
Yes.
It does not hold you back at all.
No, I've been visually impaired since birth. I'm considered legally blind, and as apparently my parents were given some pretty grim predictions of what to expect from me. They were told that I might end up having to go to a school for the blind, but then my dad got transferred to a different area, and it happened to be that it was a school district that had special programs for kids who were visually impaired but not totally blind, and so I grew up in this public school system, regular classrooms, and just kind of had to sink or swim, and which I am so thankful for, because it really did force me to persevere. And there's really, I don't know, if I want to try something, I do it. I did drama in high school, and I sing, and I think it's kind of poetic justice that I became a writer. Apparently my kindergarten teacher thought that I'm completely colorblind. That's one of the aspects of my vision problem. And my kindergarten teacher thought I couldn't learn my colors because I wasn't smart. And so I consider becoming a writer payback to the kindergarten teacher who told my mom I wasn't smart.
That's great. I love that.
And being a single mom who is visually impaired and can't drive, that was an extra, definitely an extra challenge. We really were literally stranded. But I felt like that was kind of God's ultimate test. You can do this. If I allowed this, you can do it.
Determination. I will tell you, you picked Jeanette up at the train station and you're taking her back.
Yeah.
Do you see how it works, folks?
Yeah.
You just go with it.
Yeah.
You just,
We get to have a slumber party tonight.
That's right. I know.
I'm a
I
little
meet
jealous.
I make more friends through my need for transportation than now I can see it as really a blessing, because I get to meet all kinds of cool people. One friend and I refer to it as car time. We just get extra car time.
Yeah.
I want to say something else about Jeanette, because as we mentioned earlier, we're all Mount Hermonites, which is the Christian conference down in the Santa Cruz Mountains that is just phenomenal. And she was responsible for one of the best programs there ever, called the Buddy System. I had a buddy my first year, and made all the difference of writers are introverts or introvert extroverts, and we will go to a conference and never speak to anybody. I've known people that have done that.
I'm getting a buddy next time.
Yeah, this Buddy System was just a phenomenal program to put a writer, a returnee, a veteran, with a new first-timer.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. They don't do it now, but for 9 years we did it, and it was so much fun, because I was kind of, I don't know, I guess I always kind of felt like a little bit of a nerd, a little bit of an outsider growing up, and I never wanted anyone else to feel like that. I think that's really what it grew out of, is I never wanted anyone to feel alone. I never wanted anyone to feel like they didn't have a friend, and they didn't have anyone to ask questions, and so I would, match people up so that the first-timers wouldn't feel alone, and there's something about coming and having a familiar face, and
it is such a phenomenal conference with opportunities to meet publishers and promoters and agents.
That's where I got my agent.
That's
where you got
mine too.
We have the same agent.
And for a new writer, especially coming in, it's kind of like deer in the headlights. You know, you look
I
and you go,
was.
oh my goodness, where do I even start? Or I'm not worthy.
That's where I
That's
was.
where we,
Yeah.
I think that's a commonality.
I was going to ask, because I know I was so afraid that they were going to say, well, don't quit your day job.
I thought I was going to be the only writer at the conference who didn't know anything. I mean, that was my big fear. I'm going to be the only one who doesn't know what she's
You're
doing.
in good company.
Well, maybe that's the encouragement for anybody watching who wants to write is like, you know, just hang out. Just hang out with a writer and somebody who's done it before. Because we really do like to share. You know, writing is such an alone sport, and that's probably why I have resisted some of the deeper writing. That's why I like writing the shorter stories, because I can get outside and start talking to people, because I am not the introvert. I'm a total extrovert.
Oh, I'm the introvert extrovert.
Kind of
Yeah, well, you're
can't
much
be
more
an introvert.
prolific, because
I don't think I'm an introvert.
I don't
I'm
think
in-
so.
I'm middle.
I'm pretty sure you're not. I'm pretty sure you're not.
But you're an introvert.
I'm kind of both.
Introvert, extrovert.
Yeah, because I really love being around people.
I do too.
But then there's a part of me that really does need to hull up and when I'm working, when I'm writing,
Right.
I really need to
Right.
Well,
get
ladies,
alone.
we are down to our last minute. I told you it goes
we
so
live for
long. Yes. We want to stay and party. We'll do the slumber party here. That'd work. Well, I want to thank Jeanette and Marci and
is so
Sue,
fun.
and
Thank you
also
so much.
for this second opportunity to be together in the writing world. And
amazing.
I hope you gleaned something. I know you did from each one of these women. There's something special there for each one of you out there. Share the link because it's on YouTube. If you missed something, you can go to the link and listen to all of them again and look up their websites. And you're all on Facebook.
Yes.
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 Thank you so much for the October show. We love TSPN TV and fully support Tom and Sue very much. Love you guys. Thanks. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.